Welcome to the web powered by Conrad Business Supplies. Questions, please use the question and answer tool. You can see this on the right side below. The questions will be answered by Mr. Sauter and Mr. Gauss from Testo. Now the floor to the speaker.
Welcome also from our side. My name is Christoph Sauter and I'm here with my colleague Andreas Gauss, and we will today present you the new digital manifolds from Testo. If we start with the presentation, let us go through our agenda. We will start with a short information or introduction about the Testo AG, who we and what do we offer to our customers. Then we will give you some information why we think using digital manifold is the best solution, why especially compared to analog technology. I will go into the topic directly into the new digital or the new generation of Testo digital manifolds, Testo 549, 550 and 557. And finally we will give you a short overview about our full refrigeration portfolio. Directly, who are we? The Testo AG has been founded in 1957 and is located in the Blackwood Forest, in the region of Germany. Leading manufacturer of portable and stationary measuring instruments, have around 2,500 employees worldwide. Offers a great variety of products and has clients and customers in different industries. So here you see an overview about the 4 product groups of Testo, beginning on the left, the product group HVACR, which is including all the products used by heating contractors, for example, or also refrigeration contractors. You see we have the flue gas products, for example, here, air conditioning, measuring instruments, or also the refrigeration products. Then, secondly, we have measurement data monitoring systems. Here we have especially one product, the Testo-assortiment, where you can measure and monitor temperature and humidity and other measuring values. Another product group is the product group food and drugs, where you can find all the products which are used in food and in drug industry to, for example, monitor food production processes. The 4th product group is the product group therapy and emission, where you can find thermal imagers, which are, for example, used by contractors, but also by energy auditors. For example, emission products to emission in the industry. Finally, a 5th, it's not a product group, but so products offered by Testo are the services, like, for example, calibration of all of our measuring instruments. Let's go to the next point. What are the advantages of the digital measuring technology compared to analog technology? First of all, it is very precise and very reliable. So I will come back to this point later in the presentation to give you a better overview. First, you have an automatic and especially a real-time calculation of subcooling and superheating. That means with an analog gauge, for example, you have to measure again if you want to see how a system develops when you make in the setting of the system. The digital manifold measures constantly. We're dependent to refrigerants. We at the moment have 40 refrigerants on our existing manifolds, and on the new manifolds, which just have been launched, we will have 60 different refrigerants which are chosen. On of our digital manifolds, you can also save and document measured values. So this is important for you, so you can show your customer the system was really checked and that you did a good service on the system. Point is our digital manifolds give you the possibility to measure several parameters with one device. So you don't have to carry a lot of different devices with you. As mentioned, I would like to explain the first point, reliable and precise measurement technology, a little bit further. What does this mean? And I would like to do this on a very simple example of measuring subcooling and superheating on a refrigeration system, which is of course one of the standard measurements you do when you're working with a manifold on a refrigeration system. Of course, we have to measure the pressure and the temperature for this, and I would like to go with you step by step through the measurement and the temperature measurement to check what are possible failures you can do or can be done when using the wrong equipment, when using bad equipment, when using the equipment normally. First measurement, we have to measure the pressure before the expansion valve and after the evacuation. What are possible failures in this process? Of course, failure is the first one. The measuring point of pressure is sometimes not the point where we want to exactly determine the pressure. That means we cannot just determine the pressure in any place of the system. We have to check that we have a connection on the system and can check the pressure. The second thing, which is of course not a very big failure point, but has still to be considered, is we can have a pressure drop in hoses, valves, valve block of the measuring instruments. That's a major point, is how accurate is our manifold and the impact of ambient pressure. You know, depending on the ambient pressure, are we at sea level or are we in the mountains? Also, our values can change. Then on the analog manifolds, we have a high risk of apparent error. You can see this very good in the pictures above. On which angle you're on the gauge, you will see different kind of measured values, which is a risk of failure also. And of course, we can make mathematical mistakes. We can, for example, check the pressure system and not correctly calculate the condensation or evaporation temperature of a refrigerant. These failures can occur, or there are risks that they can occur, and this of course leads to wrong evaporation and condensation temperatures, which are the basis also to calculate subcooling and superheating. To come to our subcooling superheating, of course, we have to measure the temperature of the refrigerant. As possible failures, we have firstly the measuring point. Do we measure the temperature at that point where we really want to know it, let's say? And secondly, there's always a temperature difference between the pipe, which we are actually measuring, the pipe, and the refrigerant inside. And depending also on the outside temperature, we have an impact of the ambient temperature on the temperature. Because, you know, every time you measure temperature, you only measure the temperature of a sensor element. Also, we have differences here in the accuracy of the measuring devices. This again, of course, leads to determined temperatures, absolute temperatures, and then lead to wrong-calculated or calculated superheating and subcooling values. We will have an impact on how the system is up, of course. Better, I just lined up these points again here. Above you see the topics we talked about for measurement. On the second line you see all the topics about temperature measurement, and of course they have used a mathematical formula, then be calculated to superheating and subcooling. In slide, which these factors can be influenced by us. That means which of the factors can be reduce the risk failure or using the failure at all. And by using, for example, digital manifolds, especially the you see here marked red can be avoided. So we can get better accuracy of the manifold. We can use manifolds which dilute the absolute pressure. So depending where you are on sea level or in the mountains, our digital manifolds will check the surrounding absolute pressure and calculate the values. We have no parallax error, and of course also mathematical mistakes or the risk of mathematical mistakes is much lower, as as a lot of the values are directly calculated by the manifold itself. Also, important point for Testo manifolds, if you see impact of the ambient temperature on sensor temperatures, Testo is using a so-called surface temperature compensation. That means when surfaces on a refrigeration, also the surrounding temperature is measured by our digital manifold, and based on this, a recalculation or an adaptation of the surface temperature measured is done. So this is also by our electronic manifold. So that's all to the, let's say, to the point why we think the digital manifold is the better solution to mirror. And now to come to new digital manifolds. Before I start with this, some of you may already have Testo manifolds or using Testo manifolds. Current portfolio, you perhaps know, we have on the left side the Testo 550 with a two-way valve block, and we have a Testo 557 with a four-way valve block, and we have the 520s also with a four-way valve block and with the ability to save data and also to use PC software. So this is the current portfolio. What will change at Testo? We did a relaunch of the 550 and 557 models. 570 is at the moment not be relaunched, but will still be available for you to buy. If we change, perhaps let's come to the points. This slide we summed up quite some little things which but are quite important for everyday work, we think. So first is we made the instrument more robust. These are used as a tool, we know this, so we try to make this product more robust, more reliable for your everyday work. For example, by putting in additional frame to protect the display, or doing IP42 for all the devices. Then we tried to make a better handling or to improve the handling of the instruments. Like, for example, we put in a better two-way valve block, which can be better handled. Or, for example, we now have an automatic temperature sensor recognition. The ones of you who already at the moment use digital manifolds of Testo will know that if you put in plug in a temperature probe, you will need to turn on the instrument again to start working. This is something which is very annoying in everyday work. So with the new instruments, these are automatically recognized even if they are plugged in the operation. With function, if your instrument in your car, in your toolbox, for example, and you leave it turned on, it will shut down after a while automatically, which will save you battery and will prevent you from going to your car some days later and finding a key instrument. Not least, the instruments also have a better technical performance. We raised the pressure range up to 60 bar. And we also increased the battery life from 150 hours to 250 hours, which is quite significant. And also is very good for the everyday work, for having the instrument working when you need it. Also, I already said that, we increase the refrigerant probes, which can be chosen from 40 to 60 refrigerants. The new product range includes a hybrid vacuum probe, an external probe based on a Pirani sensor. The external probe has the advantage that it can be used on different points on the system, depending which sharing point, which connections a system offers to you. You can connect it on different points, and of course, accurate determination of the pressure is important to a good evacuation on your refrigeration system. One point of our relaunch is the Bluetooth and app functionality. This is offered by our Testo-550 and Testo-557. Both instruments come with Bluetooth included. We have an app called Refrigeration. You can download it from the Google Play Store for Android devices and for Apple devices from the normal App Store, and can use this for free with the instruments. For Android, this can be used with instruments starting version 4.3 for version 7. Of this Bluetooth, of this wireless connectivity, is about 20 meters in free field. So this gives you the possibility to work with your instrument, for example, at a system and walk around the system. You don't have to stand in front of the instrument all the time if you are, for example, doing changes on the system and to check how these changes influence your measured data. This means you show data as digits or as graphs when doing adjustments. We also have the possibility to send out data as CSV, that means Excel file and PDF file, for example, to office or to a customer. And what is also something very interesting, you can update your refrigerants on your digital manifolds using the Bluetooth and the app. So if the 6 refrigerants are not enough, or you need a refrigerant which is not listed in the instrument from X works, let's say, you can choose one of the 74 refrigerants we at the moment are offering and put this on the instrument. Of course, we will also in the future, because the work of refrigerants is changing constantly due to emissions, we will update these refrigerant files on your smartphone, like an app is normally updated, and you will be able to put data on your manifold. Just to give you a brief overview, we have some of the screens here. On the left side, you see the standard pressure and temperature screen, where you see all your measured data in digits. Of course, also change here from PSI to bars, or from degrees Celsius to degree Fahrenheit if you need it. In the middle, you see the trending view. You can choose up to 4 different values and trend them, and also check how our values developing over time when you're checking your system or when you're doing work with your system. On the right side, you see the report where you can put in address, you can put in pictures in the report, and also your measured data, and send this into your inbox for documentation, or for example to a customer. On this up, on the upper part, you see the existing, at the moment, the actual manifolds, and down you see the new relaunched manifolds, what they include. Starting on the left side with the 549, the set includes only a device and battery. In the middle, you see the Testo-550, which of course includes the device, 2 clamp probes to measure temperature, and an app, and of course app and the Bluetooth functionality. And on the right side, you see 557, which includes also the temperature probes, the case, the app, and in addition, in the set includes extra vacuum probe to do or to make safe evacuation at your system. If we have new products in the full product range, you see the products we just talked about on the left side, and still the two models of Testo-570 on the right. The Testo-570 is a four-way valve block manifold which does not offer Bluetooth technology, but offers an internal storage, which is a great advantage when monitoring systems over a longer period, for example 1 week or 1.5 weeks. These data afterwards can be checked, analyzed, and of course all documented by using the so-called EasyCool, which is a PC-based software which can be used with the instruments. Okay, that's all about our new manifolds. I just have one slide as I want to give you a brief overview of the instruments Testo is providing to the refrigeration industry besides our little manifolds. So these are our two leak detectors, the Testo-13-3, and our professional leak detector, the Testo-13-4, and also an external vacuum gauge, which can be used to measure very exactly pressure or very precisely also pressure during evacuation process. For example, in combination with an analog manifold, this can be used. Yeah, this was all from our side at the moment. If there are any open questions, I just look to my colleague Andreas if there are any questions. He said no, so yeah, I would like to thank you from our side, from Testo AG, for coming to this webinar and having a look on our new products. Thank you.
Yes, nice presentation. We stay in line for a few minutes and waiting for questions. And have a nice day. Goodbye.